I wasn't going to release a podcast today, but I want this to be something special. Before I get into it, before we bring it out, before we have the conversation, I want to first let you guys know that the guy that I have on the podcast today is like a brother to me, and it's a special time. This to me, it's dedicated to brothers, for family members, and everything in between. It's tough. It's my brother's birthday today. I struggle twice a year, on the day he was born or his birthday and the day he passed. I want everybody to know that whatever you're going through, whatever your struggles are, depression, anxiety, addiction, troubles in paradise, it honestly doesn't matter. There's people out there that love you unconditionally, and will be there for you. And if you have somebody in your family that's going through those things, the only thing I can tell you is love them unconditionally, because that's the only thing you can do. I have some things that I've never shared with anybody, and I'm going to share it with you guys today, whenever you're listening to it. My brother used to write letters to his ex-wife that was divorcing him, and I felt like there was advice stuck in here. And I wanted to share it. Before you hopped into the actual episode, I wanted to give some different advice, some things that might rock your soul in a different way. So, here it is. Some people can see all your mistakes, the way you show it in your shoulders. They can see it in your face. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. They were mistakes. Nobody else's. Mine. When you get older, all those mistakes start piling up inside you. Regrets, money, enough to make you sick to your stomach. The problem is, there are just some things I just cannot change about myself. Whew. That's a lot, guys. When I read this and I think about the struggles that he was going through, being a dad, being a husband, being a father, being a friend, being a brother, and everything in between, makes it tough. It makes it really freaking tough. And I just hope that I can make a difference in people's lives and impact others with a podcast that we're doing to help dads get through whatever struggles, and moms or whoever else out there is listening to it, whatever struggles you might be going through in your life, whatever advice you need to keep you going. And I really hope that we can do this together. So I hope you guys enjoy that episode today. I'll leave it to. We're going to have a brother of mine hop on here. It's going to be a great conversation. It really was a great conversation. So I'm excited to make this happen. Thanks, guys.
What's up, Dad?
What's up, Dad? What's up? What's up, Dad? What's up?
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
What's up, Dad? Here we are tonight. We got Preston Black in the house for episode 3 of What's Up, Dad. It's an exciting episode we have here. As I always let people know, this is a one-take wonder, off the cuff, no re-records, no nothing. So you're going to get what you get, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, Preston, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. I was telling Grayson as soon as I got here today that I hate to admit I'm nervous. But I know this is going to be fun, and as soon as we get started, it'll be like a normal conversation. But to kind of fit the subject matter of the podcast, I am a dad. I'm a dad of 2 girls. I have a 12-year-old daughter, Adriana, and a 4-year-old daughter named Madeline. And my 12-year-old's about to turn 13 here in a couple weeks. So a little life-changing event. We're getting mentally prepared for, as it's making me a little nauseous.
I can only imagine what happens when you get into the teenage years. Is there like a switch, a light switch, a life switch that occurs in a kid's life. That's what I don't know. That's the unknown we're going into right now.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that because everyone who I tell that to, in terms of what age she's about to, where she's about to be 13, everyone's like, well, enjoy your life now, or enjoy those moments now, enjoy the car rides now, and it's tough not to get sad about it. Like, I guess it's part of life. It's a switch. She's gonna be in her room, and now with technology and stuff and texting, you get a little nervous, but it's a part of life, and it's gonna be the next challenge.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I know you're not much of a TikTok person, but there's a TikTok video going around. I sent it to Beth the other day. It is about it's this background, and all you see it's a dad speaking. It's from like a dad's perspective, and it starts out, you only get 4 years. And every time I see this, my heart like just starts melting away, because it's like a little kid. It's like a 0 to 4 year old. But then, like in your situation, I wonder, like between 4 and 12, does that mean life just speeds up and things change, and then all of a sudden it's like 13 hits, and now your life's supposed to change again, right?
Yep. And I've commented to her mom before in saying that these past couple years, it's you have your daughter, your firstborn, your baby girl, and you start to have this best friend. She's your best friend because you're able to talk about some of the more meaningful things of life. So you go from PJ Masks to talking about girl drama, or you go from hey, look at these drawings that I spent 30 seconds on that you'll never know what they are, to
30 minutes or 3 hours.
30 minutes or 3 hours of like, what do you think about something in history or something like that?
Something actually relevant in some capacity.
Oh, absolutely.
I know it's going to be tough. Not to say we use this as a trick all the time, but the girls want ice cream, and maybe we forget about it. We forget about it. They forget about it, and we can always push it off until tomorrow. I guess At some point in time, a 12-year-old remembers, Dad, you said I was getting ice cream. All right, you're gonna get the ice cream. Well, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Absolutely,
it is, right?
Absolutely. And the thing, I think, the older they get, the more they have the ability to harness some of those feelings. So if you maybe say the wrong thing, it's like they might not say anything about it next day. Whereas the younger they are, their brains are just going a mile a minute. So they just blurt everything they feel out. You can't kind of, there's no prying needed for the little kids.
Sure, definitely. So, many may or may not know, Preston, he said that he's a dad, he's a father, and he's a godparent. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that situation. First godparent we have on here. I don't think Jeff was. Man, am I a godparent? Oof. I don't know. I'd have to ask Beth. Are we godparents? I think we're godparents, but I don't know who. That's real bad. To the family that I'm supposedly godparent for, I'm sorry that I'm having a lapse in thought right now. So tell me about being a godparent.
Godparent, it's the ultimate sponsor response. It really is. To put it in non-religious terms, you are essentially the backup to the parents. It's the ultimate compliment, saying, if something were to happen to me, you are up to bat to make sure that the life I have that was destined for my children or their children, that you can continue on with that and be their number one supporter. And I know that so I understand and acknowledge that the idea or being a godparent probably is described differently between various religions. Probably, but they're all kind of close to the same idea of sponsor, supporter. So I'm a godfather to 2 boys. Obviously, very close with their families, very close with their parents, very close with the dads. And again, I can't express this enough. It's the ultimate compliment that another dad believes that you could father or parent their child if something happened to them. It's crazy. Sometimes I question if I'm doing a good job with my own kids. And someone else.
Somebody trusts me enough. Somebody went on the ledge and said, "Hey, hun,
Yes.
Preston's the godparent." Like somebody, like that'd be like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
like me telling Beth, be like, hey, this guy is gonna take care of our kids. Who is it?
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. And I mean, I think everyone has that moment of really.
Yeah, sorry to not to cut you off, but it reminds me of what is the movie where the parents at the very beginning of the parents die and leaves the little baby, the girl with the two friends that hate each other. Have you seen that movie? It's the most adorable, sad, happy, sad movie in the world. And they're like friends that I think they had dated at one point in time. Man, this is gonna kill me that I don't know it. And guys, I'm not gonna sit here and look it up, but it's such a nerve-wracking movie because they like he's like, I'm not doing it. She takes responsibility. Mm-hmm. Then they try to make it work. Then they try to like get together, together. Then that doesn't work. Then they fall apart. And don't hold me to this. You guys will probably know the movie better than I do. But then, at one point in time, there's this complete fallout. He's absolutely heartbroken because he leaves, right? I think. And then one day they see each other a year down the road, and I don't know if they get back together, but they stop and talk, and then you're like, wait, what happened? And that's where the movie leaves it. But it's that godparent aspect of they didn't even know each other, and all of a sudden they have to raise this child. I mean, it's such a sad situation, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully anybody's ever in that situation, but you never know, right? You just never know.
I couldn't help but think about, as soon as you started describing a movie, I thought about two movies that are way wrong. Big Daddy.
Okay.
Big Daddy.
Okay. Yep.
There's no godparent involved in that.
He's like a guy. I mean, could be.
Kind of. Foster, maybe.
Yeah.
And then.
But isn't he the real dad?
Well,
no, he's not. He's not at the end.
He pretended to be the dad.
He pretended to be. Yep.
And then, which is okay. Mm-hmm. Which is okay. He did all the things he needed to do. And then, remember the one with The Rock and the football? He was a football player.
My daughters love that. We watch it all the time.
Yes.
I don't know the name of that, but yes. They love that movie. He is unbelievably irresponsible in that movie for a portion of it. Mm-hmm. But most people think that he's, I'm sorry, probably going to lose listeners over this, this amazing human being, to which he is. Mm-hmm. But that movie actually shows the real him, how strict and crazy he is. Mm-hmm. Looking at his house, looking at how he lived his life, very specific to everything. That was the initial look at who The Rock was.
Right.
I eat at this time, and I do this, and I do this. And he's very self-absorbed, too, in a lot of ways. But he's, rightfully so in some capacity. So, not to go down that path.
But we did.
but we did. We went down there. So, let's see here. So, a lot of people know but don't know, Preston and I, we work out almost every day together. 5 days a week. For the most part, we'll say 5. COVID screwed everything up. I don't know if we're calling it a pandemic anymore as of the election stuff last night or whatever that was. It's a pandemic. That's not a pandemic. But that screwed everything up, right? We were literally 5 days a week at the gym, 5:30 in the morning, every single day, work out till 6:30, 6:40-ish every single day. There were hours and hours and hours of talks at the, it's crazy to say, talking in the sauna, doing cardio, lifting weights. I mean, he has pushed me to be a better person mentally, physically, healthy wise, as a father, as a friend, as a husband, in all ways. So it was one of those things I knew. I told him, dude, you've got to be on the podcast. I want to crack open some things that, we share together, right? So it's just as a friend. Honestly, I wanted to have you on as the second podcast, and you don't know this because you're like a brother to me, and I lost my brother. So I was going to kind of make that a tribute. Beth said, don't go down that path. You might not make it out of it. And so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go down that path. We're going to have a 76-year-old old man on it. And it was a blessing, right? I'm so glad I had him on here for that scenario and just to talk about memories and whatnot. But we're here today to talk about something that's near and dear to, I think, both of our hearts, which is lifting weights.
Yes.
So the title of today's video. We hadn't even got to that. We were so far down the rabbit hole at this point in time. And you gave this to me the other day. If it's knocking, it's rocking. Guys, he said this at the gym after I told him about the podcast. He's like, if it's knocking, it's rocking. You gave me another one, and I have it written down. I just don't have it, like, I'm not going to disclose it, right? Mm-hmm. So, all about, we'll say it's all about gym stuff. Maybe we venture into something else. I don't know. But the reality of it is, my question, and I think dads are going to find this, because where our conversation went the other day with this, and when we were talking about the podcast, was finding time. All right. Now, my wife will tell me, Grayson, you can literally just get up and go to the store and not have to say anything. If we needed something, you can get up and go to the store. Nobody's going to ask you a question. I'm not going to stop you. Now, the opposite of that is if Beth gets up to go to the store, we're not even using working out. She always says, do you have the kids? And I always ask, well, what are you doing with the kids? It's such a weird dynamic. I don't care what what family you are, what husband, father, I think that's always going to be there, right? So to sidestep into finding time, that is the hardest thing, in my opinion. That is why I chose 5:30 in the morning. That is why I do it religiously. It is my wake up for the day. It is what gets me going. It gets me going mentally, physically, and stuff like that. So we all know, we work out in the morning and and do that time. So I'm going to ask you, outside of that, what is your perfect time to work out? If it's not 5:30 in the morning, it's a multi-level question. Mm-hmm. What's the perfect time for you? Ideally, no requirements, no nothing. What would it be?
With no other commitments, 11 or 11:30 in the morning. And the reason for that is because if I went to bed late, I was able to sleep in a little bit. And again, everything's off the table.
Yeah, everything. No, even that. So that's fine.
And another reason is knowing that I wouldn't sleep in till 10:45, I could also make sure I eat something. To have something in my stomach to go and work out on. Now, we could go down the route of so many different things.
Sure.
Why are you lifting with food in your body? We could all those different things. And then also, when I'm done, I have more or less the rest of my day to carry on. So 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time would be my ideal time.
Ideal time. All right. Good to know. You hear that, Laura? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. I would like to say 5:30 is my favorite. It used to be. But that was when I definitely went to bed earlier. Mm-hmm. As I get older, I stay up a little later, and that slight lack of sleep, 30 minutes, is a game changer. So with the kids, right? Like as you have more kids, the more energy I'm expending doing other things other than just working and daily life. So having that, I don't know. I feel slightly different, but I still love my morning. I think it gets my day going. It gives me something to look forward to. I complain about it every single morning when I get out of the truck and I walk into the gym. I'm like, man, this sucks. I wish I could, but we still do it, right? We still do it. So. All right, so 11:30. How long is the perfect workout time? Now, cards are on the table. Everything's back on the table, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think that necessarily changes. I used to like working out for an hour and a half. I actually don't like that anymore. So what do you think?
My thought is if you're in there more than an hour and a half, you're not getting something. You're not focused.
So you're an Instagram model? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you're taking pictures.
Your YouTube's
You're setting up your tripod to get your bent over rows perfectly. You're looking for the goon lighting in the room that you probably shouldn't go in alone. You're doing too many other things. Ideal time for me personally is an hour. I do believe you should set aside some type of time to warm up. Whether it's 5 minutes walking on the cardio, or stretching, which you should always do, that builds in some time there. And then you get, if you want to lift some weights, maybe then you finish with stretching or whatever, or back on the treadmill. I think an hour is perfect.
An hour's perfect. All right. So it means I need to get there a little earlier in the morning is what you're saying. All right. We're going to end it with this set of questions, the perfect exercise or day. So you got an hour to spend. What are you doing?
In terms of like what lifts, what movements?
Anything. Maybe your guy wants to be on the Stairmaster for an hour.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Ooh. You can't beat a good back workout.
Any type of specific
So specific back workouts. Well, when I was younger.
back in my younger
Yeah, no. The seated cable row, like a good form seated cable row. Now, others are going to say that's not a good exercise because you're not getting that full range of motion because you're only bringing it to your belly, and you can't wrap around. Others you can't see it, but
yeah.
I'm doing the row right now. But you can't, I remember my coaches in high school would always say in your back exercises, you want to imagine squeezing like a soda can in the middle of your back, which no one can do. So I can't imagine. I could never imagine it because it felt impossible to me.
Sure.
But going back to the kind of the set workout would definitely be a back workout mixed with some seated cable row, a good lat pull down, making sure that the seat, there's like you can really crush it on your legs, so you feel nice and secure, and then curls for the girls. That counts as a back workout technically. I'm gonna throw it in there. Backs and buys.
Backs and buys, little buys action. Okay.
And then maybe at the end some type of aerobic, if that's the right term to use, where I'm gonna get my heart rate up and get a nice sweat, and then the pump, you can feel it when you're walking out of the gym.
Yeah, little
swollenness,
little swole action.
Swollenness. There'd be some other things, obviously, that's not a complete workout, but I'll say in general, the best workout is the one where you walk out feeling huge.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That's where it's just pump. Where you before you walked in there, you just had a sweet potato and you put a bunch of salt on there, and then you took double the dose of pre-workout. You walk in and you walk out and you feel like you gained 2 shirt sizes.
Sure.
That's my ideal workout.
Are you a caffeine guy for a workout? Pre-workout kind of guy.
Pre-workout, yes. Lately I haven't been taking pre-workout, but with the 5:30, 6 o'clock start time, pre-workout has become a necessity, not because of performance, but just safety almost. I just want to
falling asleep on the bench there, like, oh god.
Yes, because we have such a condensed time.
Yeah.
Typically, we hop in there.
Sure.
So you want to be able to get limber quick.
Sure.
That's a good title. Get limber quick.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down. Hold on, guys. No, that's funny. Yeah, I've gone the no pre, have the pre, caffeineless pre, all that. Just done a little mixture of all of it, and I found I don't like a high dose of caffeine in the morning. I can't stand that. It makes me feel just overly jittery. And I mean, we're doing some pretty substantial lifts in the morning, so I know I lift at a much faster rate than you do.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just like I've like trained my life to move at that rate. That's like what my brain is doing. So it's like lift. You definitely have slowed down my pace, which is good. We kind of like found a really good happy median for that. Yeah. Sometimes I push you, and sometimes we only get 3 or 4 things done. And then we go play basketball. And we had a record at one point in time. He was beating my what. That was not fun at all, but that's life. I mean, he is taller than me, so that's my excuse.
You have better ball handling skills.
Yeah, if you say so. So yeah, I mean, finding time's hard, and I guess it just segue into that. A lot of people, dads in general, find I guess we a lot of times can find excuses to not be able or not go to the gym. And I just want to let people know, like, you have to carve out the time to make it for yourself. There is time for you to do that, so make sure you are taking the time to make that happen. We choose to go in the morning, find a gym that is guaranteed to be open. We go to the same gym. Been doing that for a long time, and just know that there's gyms out there that can accommodate and make sure you have the equipment and make sure you can get it done. And as a dad, I think it's our responsibility. I know when we had Skylar, our firstborn, I weighed like almost 290 pounds, and me thinking that I could get on the floor and be a dad, right, and roll around with my kid, and then I'm taking photos and I look like this schlob, in my opinion, right? Like, I mean, people don't think that, and I'm not saying that being overweight's like a bad thing. I just thought to myself, like, I had to make some changes because I wanted to be around for a long time. I want to have I want to be a great grandfather, right? And I got to start today, and I should have started before that, to be the great grandfather that I want to be, right? Like, that's a long time ago, Jim Breckbuehler at Discover Christian Church said we should be praying for our kids, our kids' kids, our kids' kids' kids, and so on and so forth. And that's like what I think of when me being here for Skylar and Sydney and Carter now. So, that's why I wanted to talk about it. Because, using that excuse of not being able to find time is just, that's what it is, and it is an excuse. We can all figure it out. So.
Yep. It comes down to discipline, really.
Yeah.
And discipline is something that you end up teaching your kids.
Oh, yeah.
So discipline and leading by example are those two things. So then the older your kids get, they'll realize that they have time to do a bunch of other things.
Yep.
So then from there, they see that you take advantage of the time that you carve out for yourself to do something good for yourself. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that kind of cascades downward through them.
Sure. And I think, I don't know if you do this, when I leave every time, like, if I don't get a 5:30 workout in the morning, a lot of times I'll go, like, after I drop off Skylar to school, she always asks me what I'm doing. I'm telling her I'm going to go work out, like, before I go to work. Or Saturday mornings, if I'll go get an extra workout in, or just, use it as an excuse to get out of the house. Kind of, I know it sounds crazy. Or I missed a workout during the week. A lot of times I'll get a workout in still on Saturday mornings. And I'll tell her, I'll be like, I have to go, like, this is a thing for me. I crave this. I need this. It's for me to be better for you, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just, maybe it's a little selfish. Like, I totally get that. But it's selfish in a way that I want to be in my kid's life for as long as I possibly can, with no health problems or any conditions or anything that's going to keep me from being there. Mm-hmm. I got to do the best I can today to make that happen.
Right.
So,
and I mean, it sounds at times selfish, but really it's one of the more selfless things. Mm-hmm. Because you're just trying to make sure that you are a continuous contribution in their lives, in their kids' lives, and God willing, their kids' lives. That you don't hit a certain age and, old Daddy Grayson can't cut it anymore.
Yeah, no, I know. You know what? A word you just said is the absolute perfect segue into our next small topic. We're not going to ramble on forever because he will be back. Preston will be back. He actually reached out to me and told me he wanted to have a different topic on this, or topic with me, with another person on. So that's a slight insight as to the potential of another podcast in a few weeks, couple weeks, whenever we make that happen. So we'll table that piece. However, you segued into a word, selfless, right? And not only do we work out together, he's in our Bible study that Beth and I lead, or Beth helps me lead, or however you want to look at that. We lead, right? And we talked about, we're doing a study that's a church-wide study with our church. Joe Saxton watching this video on Right Now Media and in Philippians, and Paul talks about 3 different things that the church should be dealing with: love, selflessness, and humility. And selflessness was brought up last night because that's what we were talking about. And we were like talking. It's really hard to think, like, when was somebody selfless for you, right? Like, did an act that was selfless for you? And we had a really hard time coming up with that. Now you can potentially see some small things, but it asked the question was a big thing, right? Well, I brought up last night a really selfless thing that happens multiple times, happens every single morning. We hold the door for somebody at the gym every morning. I don't know why. I feel like we're always walking in with somebody or walking out with somebody because we go to the gym together and we exit together. And it's funny because we hold the door, and without a doubt, he'll be the same person for for how many ever times we've gone. They're still caught off guard. And the little act of selflessness is important. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You had any thoughts on that? Because you had some last night, so I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I forget what I said last night, but
right.
but first of all, we don't wait for people when we go to open the door.
No,
it's just
no.
naturally. It's natural, and then we always kind of carry on with whoever's at the front desk. I'm sure the eye rolls happen. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, these two nods. Yep. And here they go. Yep. Best buddies walking into the gym.
Yep.
Wearing hoodies and sweatpants all the time. But obviously, those are the things I think.
But we walk in with a smile, like we're cutting up every single. It's at 5:30, and they look. I mean, I'm no offense, but they open at like 5:30, 5 or 5:30, and they look miserable nearly every morning, except for my guy Chris, that's at the front desk. The dude always
shout out,
Chris. I'm gonna make sure tomorrow at the gym you are gonna hear this because you're on the podcast, boss. We don't wait for people, but it takes people off guard. And I guess the segue I wanted to bring that back to the "What's up, Dad" aspect of it is I am sure, because I have seen it, I've witnessed it before. You holding the door for Laura, you holding the door for Beth, or other people when Madeline, Adriana are around. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that I hope, just like I do it for Beth, I do it for Skylar and Sydney and Carter, I am instilling in these kids that is what you're looking for. There is something about that you as an adult, we should be instilling. Like if somebody is not holding the door for you, especially a man that you want in your life that you're going to eventually have kids with, you're going to eventually marry or befriend, that's a major thing. And to me, like as a dad, like you better freaking believe Joe Schmo better, gosh darn it, open the door for my daughter.
Right, and it's I agree, and it's not because it's that's what guys do for girls, and it's chivalry. Mm-hmm. That's not it. It's the it's like a sign of respect.
Respect, 100%, 100%.
That's what it is, and it's funny because I was talking to Adriana. We were on the way to school, and little side note is kind of where she is with age. Mm-hmm. What really makes me, I'll just say nauseous, mm-hmm. is the thought of Adriana being able to drive. Because when she drives, there is time that is taken away mm-hmm. from her mother and I, and John and Laura, where we could take her places and she's locked in that car with her own thoughts, bouncing off the front windshield, and we are there to help her talk through it and deflect. Mm-hmm. When she drives herself, she's by herself. I mean, sure, can you call me hands-free type of deal? Sure, all safety things. Yeah, I mean, sure, but it's different. It's different. A lot of that time is used there. But anyways, going back to what I was going to say, I was talking to Adriana about after one of these blizzards. Okay. That have happened here in Columbus, Ohio.
The Great Blizzard of
Ohio. The Great Blizzard of Ohio. I'd mentioned something about future husband shoveling the snow for you as you're walking out to your car, or if you're not parked in the garage, him cleaning the car off. And Adriana goes, "Well, why can't I do that myself?" And I was like, you know what? Yes. Why can't you do that yourself? You should just do it. That thought of it helps me understand and realize that the chivalry piece is it's about respect. it's not about and will never be about that they can't do it themselves.
Of course.
So I agree. It's also, it goes back to the leading by example. It goes back to discipline, and it just goes back to expectations too.
Yeah. There's just a sheer act of kindness.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't make Beth go out to shovel the driveway or clean her car off. I start her car in the mornings when I know she's taking Skylar to school on Monday mornings because that's her day and it's freezing cold outside, to get it warmed up. I mean, I don't expect that come back to me. It's not yes, it might be chivalrous. Yes, it might be
a dad thing,
yeah. Right? But that's what dads think about. That's what dads do. And if you don't, you should, in my opinion. I'm just going to be honest, right? Like, I really think you should, because there's something, it's that lost art of being a dad, right? Like the lost art of selflessness that we're losing in society. And I don't know, I just feel like it is my job to instill, to make sure my daughters know that their husband better open the freaking door for them. I'm just saying. And they better walk on the outside of them when they're walking on the side of the road. Okay? There's a lot of things.
I know.
Dude, it straight up kills me to see that. I've seen it so many times. Now,
the thing is, though, because I've heard that notion before. When you're walking with anyone that you love, you walk on the inside. Is that because if you get hit, or if a car were to...
You should be able to shield them. Your loved one should be on the inside, protected, the farthest away from danger. Just like when you're in a restaurant, your wife's back should be to the door, and you should be facing the door.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Except, yeah, no, I get it. I overthink it, and I imagine like a car coming onto the sidewalk, and if it's a wide car...
Yeah, but there's more to that, right? Like, I mean, there's more to that, right? Like, in some cultures, they would say that a man should walk in front of the wife. Now, I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I don't want to misstep here because I don't know, and I haven't looked it up, right? Like, we are 35 minutes into this, and I don't know. I'm not looking it up. I wasn't prepared to say this, but it's a sign of respect for them to walk a little ahead. But there's more to it than that. Like, it wasn't just created based out of a sign of, like, disrespect to the wife, a man being in front of them. I don't think it's that case, but, I mean, walking a slight ahead so you can see, and you're providing that bit of protection. I mean, my wife is helpless. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be able to shield her from danger, just like I should be able to shield my kids, and just like my kids' future husband should be able to shield them from that. So that's the stuff. I mean, again, I just feel like we're able to show them how the little things of how we should treat our wives, how we treat our kids, and how we're treating the situation, so that they're looking for that in the future, in future generations. They're not reducing their standards because Jimmy, Jack, whatever his name is, doesn't want to open the frickin' door. You know what I mean? Give me a break. Give me a break. You know what I mean? And I hope, and when they open the door enough for them, it's kind of a slap in the face. You know what I mean? It's like opening a car door. Oh my goodness, that's a lost thing at this point in time. I mean, everybody's worried about their hair getting wet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
amen.
So, but it's just one of those things. So I hope that was like my segue, because I wanted, we want things to be about dads. We want to talk about all that stuff, and forever. It's the little things. It's the little acts of selflessness that we can do on a daily basis to show our kids and the people around us, like, where our true heart is and where we're at, and others. Like, I'm not gaining anything. I don't gain anything from it. I do it because it's the right thing to do. I'm going to be honest with you. I do it because I should be showing that act of selflessness to somebody else. Not for anything. For nothing. So, but, yeah. That's that. That's all we got. So we end every week. We're going to end with some type of advice that's going to come from the dad or the person that's on here, as I've stated before. So last week it was acknowledge, accept, and adjust. for Mr. Matthews, and wow, was that deep. I'm not sure if he shared everything. However, we had a long conversation before and after on that, and I'm sure he could literally talk for days on it, which was fantastic. It's amazing where that stemmed from. Believe it or not, was pretty amazing, and how that stuck to him. So I have to ask Preston, what kind of advice you got for the listeners tonight?
My advice would be put yourself in a position where you can leave a legacy for your children or for your family. I given my family, the relationship with my dad, I would like to leave a good impression on my kids that can be cast down through my grandkids and my great grandkids. Just the ability of saying, like, this is how I was.
Sure.
This was right, wrong, or indifferent.
Sure.
These were my beliefs, and that I had feelings founded in something strong. So faith is huge. Having priorities in general.
Sure.
So being able to leave a legacy. I remember, not to get too into depth, but Laura and I had, when we were preparing to get married, her cousin he married us and kind of brought us through like I think in the Catholic world, it's like pre-Cana, something like that. It's like pre-marriage
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
And one of the things was like, just tell me your priorities.
Mm-hmm.
You go, and then you go. And the only one that differed between Laura and I was a legacy. I want to leave a legacy. And I think as a dad, as a father figure, as a patriarch, you want to be able to leave a lasting impression on your family, and that they have something meaningful to kind of tie back to, like, my dad was this, or my dad was like, that's the ultimate compliment. When Adriana is 27 years old talking to some guy or whatever, and she goes, yeah, well, my dad does this, or my dad believes this. Like,
sure,
that is the biggest compliment.
Sure.
All this work that we're putting into because of how much we love our kids, it will pay dividends for everyone involved. So that's
I love that you did not tie it to any specific style of legacy, right? I think a lot of times you see it's the TikTok, it's the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter tweeted version of it's got to be tied to money or stuff or whatever it is. I love that you tied it to my dad does this or taught me that or did that. Like, that's the forgotten art of opening a door.
Yes.
Right? There is something about that is so deep. It's like it's more than just, all right, what if it is he opens the door, right? Like my dad opened the door for everybody. Right? Like, and I'm going to do that, and my kids are going to, that's what I love about what you just said.
Yeah, and it's just like what you said in your first episode with the notes you write to Skylar for lunch. One day she's going to remind someone, my dad wrote me notes in my lunch. I couldn't read them, but I had to ask someone to read them.
I couldn't read them.
So the message is the message. You understand it.
Yep.
And that's all that matters. But she remembers that my dad took time out of his mornings to think of me.
Yeah.
And to think about my future in terms of my faith and foundation. That's what she's remembering. That's the legacy you're living.
Yeah.
You're leaving.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Selfish. We go from selfless to selfish.
Yeah, no. It's not selfish. Yep. It's not selfish. So, I've never told anybody, and we're going to end this here real quick. I've never told anybody, but the guy that made the Fantasy Factory, what was his name? The skater?
Rob Dyrdek.
Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah.
He had an interview, and this is where it come from. He said every single morning, because he runs, like, dude just makes bank, just rolls in the cash, right? Every morning he gets up and he writes his wife an email and tells her exactly what he's doing that day. what he does, he tells why he's doing it, what he's doing it for. He tells her how much he loves her. Like he made this it's very elaborate. He said it takes me like 15 or 20 minutes to do this. The very first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. Now I don't do that for my wife because we work together, and I probably should, and I've thought about it. But man, like I don't even know what I'm doing. Some days it feels like. But I realized I wanted to do something to impact the life that was around me. And I have a challenge for this year, not only to read more, be better, and all that stuff, but to do more for my wife too. Now we don't, this is a dad podcast, but most dads probably have a wife or wives or have, maybe married or something of that nature, right? And I would just throw that challenge out there to take what's being said on the podcast, the advice that's being given, the things that you hear, and try to instill them in your life, right? See if it works for you. See if working out works for you, creating a schedule for yourself, finding the perfect time works for you. So I hope you guys can take something away from it, as I am. I'm learning something every time I hop on here, thoroughly enjoying it, and hopefully these don't get longer and longer, but they're going to, and that's okay. I just appreciate the opportunity to sit down and talk with a friend about being a dad.
Yep. No, I agree. Thanks for having me, and shout out to my wife. I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, shout out to Laura. Shout out to yes.
Thanks for letting me do this.
Yes. Thank you, Laura, and thanks everybody for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share and do all those fancy social media things. And if you want to be a dad on the podcast, make sure you fill out our link, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
What's up, Dad? Hey, Dad, what's up?